Alright, so, fun fact. I already did this once. I guess I could have kept that recording going. Oh, yeah, sweet. Yeah, so apparently this account that I use for MechLab Mondays has been flagged by the online map and no longer does online map things because, yes, it is allied with the Free Worlds League. So the only thing I could think of why I didn't receive the loot crates is because I essentially save scum for MechLab Mondays with this playthrough. I reload the same point every time before I start tweaking one of these mechs, and I guess the system was like, "Oh, there's save scumming to abuse the whatever." It's not like I actually care about this playthrough impacting the impacting the online map at all. I just build a mech, drop solo mission, whatever. Um, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. So apparently, if you save scum, you don't like get banned from the online map in the sense of you can't play on it anymore because it still is the online map. Actually, now that I think about it, I haven't looked. Well, there's Steiner all the way up there, and there's huh, yeah, there's Clan Diamond Shark pushing down here. So yeah, this is the online map, but yeah, I do not get the loot crates, and I assume if the battles I play as part of MechLab Monday don't impact the online map at all, which is cool because it's MechLab Monday. It's not supposed to impact anything. Um, in any case, I thought that was an interesting note to put in there. So if you're playing on the online map and you do save scum, reload saves, and all that sort of mess, then yeah, apparently you just don't get included in the online map system stuff, which interesting. The more you know. So we've been doing assault mechs. We did the Kraken and the Mad Cat 2A, Mad Cat Mark 2A, and so I think today we're gonna shift gears a little bit. We're gonna skip all the heavies, and we're gonna drop down to the good old Lineholder, because I wanna work on a build of the Lineholder today. So here we go, Lineholder. Very, very nice little medium mech. It's similar to a Hunchback, but I find they're more balanced than Hunchbacks. You know, Hunchbacks, they have most of their hard points in this right torso, but Lineholders, they have more of an even distribution of hard points, which I appreciate. So, as usual, we're going to start off deciding what type of mech this is going to be, and then choosing an appropriate engine core. And this, I'm going to make a bit of a brawler, bit of a mid-range brawler. So it doesn't need the fastest engine core, but it does need an engine core that allows it to get into mid-range. So since it's not going to be sitting on the outskirts firing lerms or whatever, we're going to pick a decently sized engine core, but it doesn't have to be too big. I'm looking at this 220 right here, and that will give it respectable 4-6 movement. It doesn't need a lot of evasion because it's got a good bit of armor for a medium mech, and this is going to be aimed at more of a mid-game build rather than a late-game build. Late game, you generally want to use medium mechs mostly as like scout mechs. You want them to have stealth. You want them to have, good evasion, because late game, if they get hit by an alpha strike from like, a Kraken, then they don't have enough armor to really survive that too well. But if we're targeting this again, if we're making the Lineholder a mid-weight, medium range kind of juggernaut sort of thing, this is going to be early mid-game focus. And a 220 core is just perfect if you're wanting to just get into mid-range and then kind of stay there. You could use a higher core, but I wouldn't really go below a 4-6 movement. Because if you go below 4-6, you're gonna struggle to get into the medium range. and it's going to be generally rough to do what you need to do. So, since this is a mid-range brawler, it's gonna be attracting a lot of fire. And for that reason, I actually prefer the IFF jammer over the advanced optics. Yes, advanced optics does give you night vision, which is always good, and the accuracy bonus is nice, but the build I have in mind, we don't really care too much about accuracy. So, now that we have the IFF jammer, we are going to skip on over to engine upgrades. I would put a light engine in if I had it, but I don't have a light engine, so we're going to use a Clan XL and just pretend it's a light engine. As far as cooling goes, obviously double heat sinks would be a good mid-game option. If you have Clan heat sinks, sure, why not? We're not going to be too worried about slots for this build, I don't think. I'm actually kind of tempted to put Heavy Pharaoh in, but we'll think about that for a second before we do it. So, the one thing that I know for sure that I'm going to want... Well, do I have a Dreadnought Gyro? Because a Dreadnought Gyro is really good on a mid-range. No, I don't. Dreadnought Gyros give you high stability threshold, and they give you... entrenched, I think it's called, when walking. So you were able to ignore a lot of stability damage with it. It's pretty good. We might end up using Exchanger. We might end up not. I haven't decided yet. But we're going to look for a really good mid-game option. The MRM-40. So the MRM-40 gives you 200 damage on an Alpha Strike. That's very respectable. Especially since it's fairly easy to come by. It's not like, you know, Lost Tech or anything. So if you happen to get one early on, it can be really fun to play with. Obviously, since you're firing 40 missiles per Alpha Strike, you're going to need ammo for it. And requires Artemis 4. I actually have an Artemis 4 targeting computer. We'll think about it. But yeah, definitely a double bin that gives 480 shots, so that's 12 Alpha Strikes. That's a pretty good go-to. You could also get improved and get 10 Alpha Strikes with a 2 bins of improved that offset the accuracy penalty for the MRM-40 and give it increased accuracy. But they are more likely to be targeted or intercepted by AMS, so one of the big appeals of the MRMs is that you don't really have to worry about AMS too much. Like, an MRM-40 firing standard ammo, AMS doesn't really do too well against it. Even AMS Mark II and Advanced AMS, they struggle to shoot down the majority of the 40 missiles. So anytime you're using an MRM, you have to keep in mind, yes, improved ammo is just objectively going to give you bonus accuracy, but it's going to lose the bonus AMS immunity, or not immunity, but the AMS reduction. So that's something to keep in mind whenever you're debating between MRM ammo types. But yeah, we'll just stick with the double bin for now, and we'll think about maybe adding in some more or changing it up. Or, you know, maybe I'll just go 1 bin of improved, 1 bin of incendiary. Nah, as a solo drop, the incendiary is not going to be effective. So if I were dropping this as part of an actual lance, yes, I would definitely bring incendiary. But since it's just a solo mech, it's gonna, unless, do I have some flamers? Do I have... No. Okay. I don't have any flamers. If I had flamers, I would consider doing a pyromaniac build with incendiary, MRM-40, and a bunch of flamers, but sadly I have sold them all in this playthrough. Whoops. Well then. Right. So, keeping with the entire concept of just a mid-game build, we're going to avoid using the clan tech, and we are going to throw in some Exostar medium lasers, which can be gained fairly early in a playthrough from pretty much any faction. Like, you don't have to be fighting clanners to get Exostar medium lasers. Alternatively, you could also use pulse lasers, but I think, just hear me out on this one. I'm going to use the medium laser Exostars and a medium pulse raker. So this is less, well then again, I don't really care about it being splashy because it's an MRM-40 build. Let me think about that. Because I'm going to have tonnage left over after I drop in Pharaoh and Indo. I'm going to have tonnage left over. I guess I can go. I mean, I'm looking for a mid-range mech. So the MRM-40, max range 540, optimal 270. Medium lasers, optimal is 180. What about the medium pulse laser? Optimal 150. So slightly shorter range than the medium lasers. But they are more accurate. Okay, let's think about heat for a second. So with the Exostar medium lasers, we've got 11 heat each. So yeah, we're gonna need an exchanger. How much heat does the MRM-40? 36 heat from the MRM-40. Nice. Do I just go with a medium pulse or a lit raker? Because they're the same range. The raker's 6 extra heat, and it's less splashy, but that's about it. So 6 extra heat to make it less splashy. If I was going to do all medium pulses, I would do all medium pulses. But since I'm going medium laser Exostars, I'm also going to go medium pulse laser raker, just so that I have less splash than I would. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so that brings us over here to Heavy Pharaoh, and again, avoiding clan tech because this is supposed to be a medium, a mid-game build. So, without any clan anything, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm going to make this thing, first of all, faster, because I've got the weight for it. And if you have the weight, you might as well use it. So I need at least a standard 250 so that I don't have to have the heat sinks. So I'm thinking, let's see, 55, 110, 220, 275. Sounds good to me. All right. 275 with it's got a 1 heat sink capacity, so let's throw in an engine heat sink. Why not? And that brings the cooling to 66. And then we drop in an exchanger. Let's just drop in an exchanger plus because, again, we're going for like a mid-game build. No guarantee you'll have a double plus or a clan exchanger by that point. And now let's see if we have the heat to pull off medium pulse lasers. All the medium pulse lasers. So these things have 3 more heat than a medium laser Exostar. Is it 3 more? No, it's 1 more heat. So 1 more heat than the medium laser Exostar. But again, it's splashy. But this is all about the splash. So let's have some fun with it. So we got 7287. So that's not the worst. Luckily we're using clan heat sinks. We're kind of cheating a little bit in that aspect. So we can actually drop in a double heat sink there. And we've got ourselves 87 alpha strike, 78 78 sinking. Not bad. Not bad at all. We are also up to a 5-7 hex movement. And we've got 1 ton left over, but no slots, sadly. So maybe the heavy Pharaoh is a little bit of overkill. Let's see what the heavy Pharaoh gives us compared to the regular Pharaoh. I don't have regular Pharaoh, I just have clan Pharaoh. Well, clan Pharaoh would be minus 1.53 versus 2.86. So the heavy Pharaoh is giving us an extra 1.3 tons. Not bad. Not bad. We could always just drop the Indo and put in clan Indo and then have all the slots we need. But I'm trying to keep this a little bit more mid-game. So, what if instead we use that tonnage on... Okay, so the AR-24 and AR-12 sheath beacons don't actually use tonnage. It must be the sensors... No, the advanced jammer does not. I could have sworn there was something, some head component that gave you like ECM and stuff, but weighed something. I'm sure I've had it in another playthrough, and I just can't think of it off the top of my head. So how are we going to use this last ton with no slots and full armor? Good question. First, I guess let's look at cockpit components. So we have a splashy missile build with splashy pulse lasers. The Artemis targeting system... Oh, well, there's half a ton. And if it was... Yeah, okay, so... Wait, is it 2 slots? It's 2 slots. Ah, pity. Okay. Do I have a small... No, I do not have an advanced small cockpits. Okay. Alright, we're just gonna cheat. We're just gonna use clan Indo. But... Yeah. Nah, let's not. Let's just bump up the engine core a little bit, I guess. Ideally, we'll be able to bump up the engine core just enough that we can put 2 heatsink tons in the engine core so that we don't need this pesky double heatsink clan. So, that would be a 300 engine. I don't think we can afford a 300 engine. No, just barely not. Pity. Pity. Well, actually, we can. We absolutely can. So there's engine heat sinks plus 2. We have no slot issues. And I really should use those shortcuts. Gyro extra large. Boom. And now we even have the tonnage, if we so chose, to drop in I mean, Clan Guard and ECM fits perfectly, but going for mid-game, all we have to do is shave off 0.56 tons, so... No, I'm going to leave it on the legs. This ammo explosion's bad. Uh, 120, 120. $160. Alright. So, we have ourselves a mid-game... Again, this could be just a regular double heat sink kit. Cooling. where's the... Oh, there it is. This could just be a regular double heatsink kit. Yeah, could be a regular double heatsink kit. Either way, this works perfectly. So we have a 5/8 movement, which is very respectable. Again, the only thing here that cannot be found pretty early in a playthrough is the Clan XL engine, which if you used a light engine, you'd just have to drop the engine core a little bit and finagle some stuff around, but theoretically, everything here could be achieved early in the game. Like, hey, maybe you get lucky and you come across a clan mech and blow its legs off early in the playthrough. Whatever. Other than the Clan XL engine here, everything else very much early game focused. Early mid game. Scrolling down to the cockpit components. You do not want to use a tracker with this particular build because, yeah, like, short range is 50% of optimal range and below. So you would be wrecking your accuracy pretty much where you want to be. Like, you want to be within the optimal range with this build. And losing accuracy for half of that is just terrible. So, you do not want that. You could go range sensors. You could go sensors missile range to add a little bit of reach to your MRMs. But since we're fast enough by far, I think we're definitely going to go with something simple. Okay, ECM's already installed. That's another thing you could do is you could drop the XL to a light engine, and light engine I believe is 25% reduced. So you would need to find 4.5 tons, which is I think why I originally had this as a medium laser rather than a medium pulse laser build. So just keep that in mind if you replace these medium pulse lasers with medium lasers and the XL engine with a light engine, the build still works. So it doesn't require the Clan XL engine. That's what I'm trying to say. So we can put in some sniper sensors, which give us further IFF, which again pretty good whenever you're, you know, recon sensors. Yeah, recon sensors. Recon sensors have built-in probe as well as ECM, as compared to the sniper sensors that just have built-in IFF jammer. So the IFF jammer here gives a penalty of 1. Our IFF jammer here gives a penalty of 3. So that's a penalty of 4. Then our Guardian ECM gives a shield of 4. So this is actually making this thing quite a lot harder to hit with just the IFF jammer, the recon sensors, and the Guardian ECM. And again, we don't really need the advanced optics because we are splash. We are all about the splash. We don't care if every instance hits. There is no pinpoint on this mech. So we're just going to spray things in the general direction of what we want to die. And whatever sticks, sticks. Now, moving forward, we have, let's see, rangefinder. I thought there was a cockpit upgrade that gave, night vision. Or is that a fire control system I'm thinking of? Because night vision is really nice to have. Yeah, there we go. Fire control improved. So, 1 gunnery and night vision. Now, obviously, Predator's better, just objectively better, but we're going for a mid-early game build. I want this to be a legitimate mid to early game build. So we're going with the fire control improved instead of the Predator. But if you have a Predator, throw it in and watch how much more accurate this thing gets. We have a, let's see, SLDF cockpit. I mean, I'm trying to think off the top of my head what tactics gives. Tactics gives sensors, offensive push accuracy. Does it also give clustering? No, initiative. Initiative. Offensive push accuracy, initiative, and sensors. Did I already say that? Sensors, offensive push accuracy, and initiative. Yeah, so those are the three. Cockpits. I mean, resolve gain's nice. Allows you to do fun stuff like offensive pushes, but this mech doesn't care about offensive push. What this mech cares about is bulwark, guarded. What is it called? Yes, the thing that it's called. But instead, we're just gonna throw a rangefinder in. Very easy to get early game, very common. So we have an early game to mid game build. This works. Like this, again, drop the engine core, light engine, drop the Guardian UCM, put in, like, there's a lot of ways you can tweak this to make it an earlier game build, but the most effective build is always what you can do with what you've got. And right now, this is what we've got. So, this build, first of all, 1.4 million, so those engine upgrades. So, we're going to use Buzzard here. And for a spam build, you always, always, always want Bandit. In part because the crit chance has so many instances, but mostly because of that +6 to clustering. If all of your spam hits, you kind of want it to hit the same place. And piloting, we're just going to go up to 4. Guts, we're going to go up to 4. And tactics, we're going to go up to 4. Now, for your secondary, as a midliner, awareness is pretty good because you're not going to have much evasion, and if you do get sensor locked, there it goes. But I personally like hard case because falling down is bad. Now, whenever it comes to the Warlord ability, if you have a spam build, that +10 to clustering rolls is insane. So I always recommend on a super spam build, like an MRM40 with a bunch of pulse lasers, Bandit, Warlord. Other than that, you can kind of take whatever. And we're just going to go full-blown crit chance. And tactics. And then other than that, it doesn't really matter. So, we have a not-so-mid-game pilot. But she has no affinity, so yeah, let's drop Buzzard and see what happens. All we have is 3 skulls, so let's go 3 skull recovery. Sure, whatever. Also, something I've been ignoring, or not ignoring, but rather forgetting about in these Mech Lab Mondays. Who was that I said? Buzzard? Yes, Buzzard. I've been forgetting to talk about affinities. So, the Lineholder's affinities is minus 20% stability damage taken and plus 5% damage resist. And then minus 3% damage taken and through armor crit immunity. So, Lineholders, very good at this mid-range, walk forward and shoot things till they die from it playstyle. Now then, let's see how the Lineholder does on a 3-skull mission solo. Alright, so mid-game Lineholder versus 3-skull mission solo.
Command interface initiated.
And I've successfully managed to remember to turn off allies in this particular, in this episode of Mech Lab Mondays. So, this is going to be a legitimate solo drop, no allies. I want this ridge. Give me the ridge. That works. And we will see how well it goes. Again, the goal of the Mech Lab Mondays is never just to win. The goal is not, oh, let's see, you know, let's build a mech that's actually going to win 1v4 or whatever. The goal is to just show that the build is viable. And obviously, some builds are going to be better at soloing than others. And this one I'm actually fairly confident in.
Good to go.
Even though it's a medium mech, and even though it's you know, very spammy, it's scary. Like if you get proper clustering, and especially against super evasive targets like this. So we've got a flee. We're going to flip over to improved, and we're going to warlord it up. Because why not? So 25% hit chance, but there's so many damage instances. Isn't it pretty? Wait, that's a Timberwolf? Excuse me? Excuse me?
Nice try.
Is that seriously a Timberwolf in a 3-skull mission? Being used by the planetary government? What? No way. Huh. And it appears to have a Gauss rifle. So let's see, did we open up? Yes, we opened up the right side. So, we will drop some stability and shoot it from the right side. Goodbye, fleet. Yeah. I love spam builds. They're so fun. But this is a spam build that doesn't require a ton of, you know, specialized hardpoints. Just one big missile hardpoint and a couple of energy hardpoints. No Omni required. Oof.
I'm losing weapon systems.
Yeah, that's a Clan Timberwolf. It's got a Gauss and 2 large ER lasers. And that's a rack. I'm actually curious how well this Lineholder is going to be able to hold up. Left side's already open, so time to torso twist around. I'm definitely going Vigilance to try to survive as long as I can. Can I get 3 evasion and shoot them? Yes, right there. Right there. Okay, so I could go for the Timberwolf. And I could potentially, if the clustering is good, do some serious damage. But I think taking out the Winston is more likely to happen. Ooh, is it? 225 armor on the side. Okay. Okay. I mean, I would actually potentially be able to take the Timberwolf down more easily than the Winston. So let's do it. Ew, advanced AMS. Even so, firing the improved ammo, you saw how little the advanced AMS did. Dude, how is he not overheating?
Whoa! Easy on the armor.
I really wish I had brought those incendiary MRMs now. Who knew I was going to face a clan mech against the planetary government? Yeah. Jeez, there's... it just splashed all over him. No. Alright, well let's try to get kill number 2.
On my way.
Hopefully we can at least do that. Dropping the improved to standard, and actually dropping one of the pulse lasers.
Roger that.
And you can see, the AMS is doing almost nothing. I don't like that it's not... Oh, that's right, I have the... Yes. Yeah, 0 from 40 hit by AMS. I also, whenever I was... Wait, did the Timberwolf just charge? Yeah, the Timberwolf just charged me and knocked me down with 1 hit. Okay. But yeah, so... Going with the, instead of the floating text, I went with the... Oh my gosh, stop. Yeah, Okay. Combat log. Whenever I turned off the allies, I turned on the combat log. It seems to be much more performant than it was. And it is definitely a lot easier.
All units destroyed.
Okay. I was going to say it's a lot easier to look back and see exactly what happened, but obviously not when it's not your turn.
Mission failed.
So, that was a fluke because we were against a clan heavy mech for no good reason. Okay. So, we're going to try that again, and this time, if we drop and there happens to be a random clan mech, just for no good reason, a random clan heavy mech in a mission where we're against planetary government, we are going to make sure to bring some incendiary MRMs. Yes, it's going to be very useful.
On it. I'll let you know when that's done.
So, once again, going into recovery against planetary government, dropping just the Lineholder with buzzer. Oh, right, because we. Alright. Alright. Now, planetary government, Lineholder, buzzard, go. Alright. So, again, the goal is not to try to win the mission with a single medium mech against a 3-skull mission. The goal is just to show what the mech does. I feel like when there's a Timberwolf against you, like, that's considerable mech firepower that just you're never gonna have to deal with in the early game. And we literally built this to be an early to mid game mech, so I'm actually gonna drop here. There. Yes, let me drop here. Yes. Alright. So, we'll see what we're up against this time. But at least if we're against another clan mech, we have the incendiary missiles to alleviate the problem. Okay, enemy contact. Hey, there's a Nidhogg. There's another Nidhogg. 2 Nidhoggs, cool. And a Grand Summoner. A clan Grand Summoner. Huh. Was it with local government having clan tech? That's kind of crazy. Like, kind of really crazy. Then it's 2, like, pirate Nidhoggs. What?
Waiting on you, Commander.
Sorry, what? So this is a good chance to show what what splash towards a Nidhogg's back looks like. Oh, and there's some kind of stealthy vehicle over there. So I'm actually going to use Incendiary because, as you can see, Incendiary against vehicles is 7 damage instead of just 5. So extra reason to bring Incendiary. I don't really need to worry too much about Warlording because it's not going to splash that much on a vehicle. So, despite the Nidhogg's 2 AMS flares, that was still 25 of the 40 missiles hit. That's one of the benefits of AMS. I mean, of MRMs, is they are much more effective against AMS than other targets, or than other missile systems. LRMs and SRMs tend to get intercepted much more easily, especially if you're using Artemis ammo, or if you're using like LK ammo. All right, firing indirectly. Happy to see that. What is that? Is that a pulse laser that fired 6 times and did 40 damage each time? What?
Commander?
Whoa. That's crazy. I do not want to move into direct line of sight, but I kind of have to. So, yeah, if I move to cover, it's only going to be one evasion. Because this Nidhogg is pretty much open in the rear. I want to definitely hit it from the rear. But in positioning there, I'm going to have trouble. So, I'm going to move forward
Got it.
and start hitting the Grand Summoner in the side. Hopefully, this works. Oh, I should have used Warlord. I should have used Warlord for the better, well, I mean, shooting him from the side. Ooh. 10 damage per. Is that just all SRMs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so that's 9 missiles. So that's like an SRM 6 and no, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. But let's vigilance and see if we can at least get the Bola down. Because I don't like those SRMs or whatever it was shooting me with. Darius, we are not getting out of there with that thing alive. Going Warlord because I actually do care about the splash going to the sides or the rear or front. I'd rather them all hit the same spot.
All weapons are full.
And the Bola is actually quite a bit more armored than I expected. Oof.
We have the asset, Commander. The asset is under fire.
Wow. So I'm thinking 3 skull mission might be a little much for a medium mech to handle solo.
Waiting for orders.
Just saying. Minefield times 120. Oof. Please no?
On my way.
Yeah, we're not making it out of this mission alive. So we might as well take a Nidhogg down with us.
Mover down. Shutting down. My mech can't take the
Hey, it didn't explode. And then the Grand Summoner. Boom. Wait, the mech's still standing. Okay, now the mech's not standing anymore. Yeah, there we go. Well, we took down a Nidhogg and did a lot of damage to Ebola. So, for a medium mech dropping into a 3 skull mission, that was actually respectable. I definitely think that the Incendiary was much better than the second bin of direct damage, because vehicles are very common, and doing the extra damage to vehicles is really nice. So I think the final build I'm gonna call is the Incendiary ammo with the improved ammo. But yeah, that has been your episode of Mech Lab Monday. And I think next time I drop a medium mech, I'm going to not drop it on a 3 skull mission. Hopefully that demonstrated the Lineholder just being a Lineholder.